Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
Hello and welcome to Eye on South Asia. I'm Bhavna Vanan.
And I'm Sanjeev Pandya.
Every week we'll discuss news, views, and events and happenings with South Asians living in North America. Sanjeev, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And
it's good to be here.
Great. And we are going to start with you for our first lead story.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is something that has been going on for 25 years.
That's right.
So
it's like a ghost coming back, you know. The story is about 25 years old. I think happened in 1986 or 87, where sitting Prime Minister at the time, Rajiv Gandhi, a mega superstar, global icon, Amitabh Bachchan, and a couple of others involved in the scandal called Bofors Scandal. This was a scandal involving Sweden, Switzerland, and India, three countries, and also the ruling party, an opposition party. They were all involved in this. At the time, there were allegations that Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi accepted bribes in exchange of some kind of arms deal, from Sweden. And there was this Italian businessman, Quattrocchi, was involved. This was a sensational news back then. And Amitabh Bachchan, who was actually member of parliament at the time, his name surfaced, and then him and his brother Ajitab, they were also in the news saying that they may have accepted bribery. Obviously, Bachchan was upset. He wanted to clear his name. And then now, 25 years later, Sweden police chief came out finally and said, Bachchan was forced to be in the scandal. He was not guilty. He didn't do anything. But then he also hinted that Rajiv Gandhi knew everything, the Prime Minister at that time, and couldn't do anything. He just let everything happen. He watched every single thing, but didn't stop anybody.
Right.
The most interesting part is Italian businessman Quattrocchi was a friend of Rajiv Gandhi's wife, Sonia Gandhi. And Rajiv Gandhi wanted to help him out to clear his name. And Sweden and Switzerland, those countries were not allowed to go after Quattrocchi. So in the 25 years, many things happened. I think, lawsuits were filed left and right. Amitabh Bachchan's name was cleared sometimes back, and he said that he was not involved in it. And then finally, 25 years later, this Swedish police chief says that it's all clear, and he had nothing to do with it. But one wonders that it took 25 years, and there were so many stories. Something could have happened, would have happened, we don't know. But it's just unclear that how deep Rajiv Gandhi or anybody from his family were involved or not.
Right, and it seems like there were a lot of politics being played in this situation, and this Bofors scandal in some way continues to haunt the Congress party even today.
That's absolutely true, because people have doubts that Rajiv Gandhi and his family members may have been involved heavily on that. At that time, 25 years ago, this scandal was the largest of that scale, some $640 million, and it was large. So obviously all eyes were on it. But now they say, Rajiv Gandhi is no more. So now it's all cleared for Amitabh Bachchan, and he's happy.
And this 25-year history, just looking back, it has actually helped influence and impact the freedom of press in the U.S. amendment rights.
Well, that actually became part of this scandal, Bofors Scandal. How it became part of it is that local newspaper, U.S. newspaper called India Abroad, and its publisher and editor, chief editor, Gopal Raju, published a story in his newspaper that Amitabh Bachchan and his brother Ajitab Bachchan were involved in the scandal. And obviously, Amitabh wanted to clear his name. So he filed a lawsuit in a London court, and he was cleared. He won the lawsuit in London. He was cleared. Then Gopal Raju decided to file a lawsuit in the New York court. Gopal Raju won that case because he used his First Amendment right, and he said that freedom of speech applies to media person, media editor, and a publisher,
Yes.
and that's how it became a news.
All the press. And basically in England, it is up to the person, the burden of proof is upon whoever's causing it, correct? And then in America, the burden of proof is on the party that's being aggrieved. So
That's what the court of law says.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great to see that even to this day, this case has become one of the most cited cases for freedom of speech.
True, true. And now I think let's hope that after 25 years, this case really comes to close now, because we don't want to hear any more surprises.
Right.
I think, so let's see what happens. But that's the update on a Bofors scandal.
Okay, very interesting. And next, moving on to our next story, we have India and Pakistan. They are to sign a liberalized visa agreement.
Right.
We know that President Asif Ali Zardari went to India, and during this time he met Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and they were trying to resolve the outstanding issues, mainly with trade. And they're likely to sign this liberalized visa agreement that would pretty much cover the issues of difficult travel and visa procedures aimed at kind of curbing trade historically.
Right.
And now this would just open up these areas and have business people from these two countries be able to move freely, and just even the issue of non-business visas
Right.
for divided families across the countries.
That they haven't seen each other for, God knows, 65,
Yeah, and for
70
various
years.
reasons.
Exactly.
Right, and particularly those aged over 65 years old, if they want to attend a marriage or funeral, they're not going to be rejected or barred from
Correct.
crossing these borders.
Right, right. This, I think, a remarkable effort, because as they are trying to, close ties between two countries, and at least having this sustained talk process going on, so it's a remarkable effort.
Right, exactly.
And let's hope that it works well for everybody.
Exactly. And, just having this relationship continue and more meetings, that should definitely continue that partnership.
We always have to move forward. We have to, look ahead and try to make something happen.
Definitely. And with our neighbors in Pakistan,
Right.
the Pakistan Supreme Court on April 26th found Prime Minister Gilani guilty of contempt of court, and this was for refusing to reopen the corruption cases against the president. And basically, he didn't really get a sentence of
Right.
very much. He just got a symbolic sentence of a few minutes detention in
That's
the
it.
court.
While in the court, that's what
Right.
he got. But here, when you say refusing to reopen corruption cases against the president, that's President Asif Ali Zardari.
Yes.
Gilani is the first serving prime minister in Pakistan that to be convicted by court. Now this has a history because thousands of corruption cases were thrown out in 2007 by amnesty law passed under former military president Pervez Musharraf. And after that, court issued a law saying that it was agreement illegal and order cases involving Swiss bank's account against anybody. And here Raza Gilani didn't want to press charges or didn't want to have inquiry against President Asif Ali Zardari.
Right.
So that's why he was convicted in the court.
Yes, and many observers have looked at this case and said that it's kind of a continuing battle between the government and military, and the military having this increased control over these sorts of decisions.
That's true. Yep.
So, meanwhile, the opposition leader has used this incident to
Obviously.
demand that
Demand his
he
resignation.
step down
Yeah.
and those sorts of things. So, there's always going to be pressure from the opposition. That's a given.
Sure. We'll see what happens next.
Yeah. All right. The investment rating is in peril because the S&P has cut India's outlook and their credit rating. So it's gone on April 25th. It went to a negative from a stable.
Exactly.
To it's basically just reflecting the current account deficits and political turmoil and that sort of thing?
Well, what's happening globally, global recession, economic downturn. I think, finally India is seeing somewhat of it also. All these years, we have talked about growth in India and how well corporate companies are doing so well. People's standard of living has improved so much. But finally, it's coming down where real estate market has slowed down, corporate earnings have slowed down, and India's GDP rate has also slowed down. So considering all the facts, S&P has cut its rating to negative from stable.
Right, and this would actually increase the borrowing cost for local companies and make it harder to refinance debt. And this could also affect the foreign direct investment in the country, which everybody is pushing for.
Exactly.
So,
and remember, this is the same S&P had also cut down US's ratings, a year back or so.
yes,
Also.
exactly.
And it was a major news all over the world.
So it's India's turn to go through this now. Hopefully there won't be like
Well, it's
far
only
default.
stable to negative now. Let's hope it doesn't go any far below than that.
Right. And speaking of trade and investment and trying to reel in more foreign direct investment, we have the U.S. Ambassador Nancy Powell. During her visit to India, she presented all her credentials. She visited the whole country and just getting reacquainted to the nation. She is basically engaging with Indian officials and trying to bring in a bilateral investment treaty, or the BIT, that would help foster investment opportunities.
That's right.
And she wants to cut out these kind of peripheral sort of barriers, such as like high tariffs, monetary barriers, restrictions, and stuff like that. What the foreign investors have been encountering. Yeah.
Same concept, another effort.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So she's highlighting deals like the $8 billion foreign military sale and that agreement with the U.S. because really a lot of people see opportunity in military investment in India.
Correct.
Because India is going to be the world's largest arms importer, and they plan to spend close to $100 billion over the next 10 years upgrading their everything military.
So in the end, I think this is how we should close it. S&P just cut down the rating, but another group of people see many more opportunities in India for investment. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Right. All right, so we are going to take a short break.
That's right.
And we'll be right back on Eye on South Asia.
Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.